This episode was broken into parts, which you can find in the playlist. Thank you for listening. Well, you were kind of talking about a recent lesson that you learned about how you can't really build two types of businesses at the same time. Are there any other recent lessons that you've learned?
Yeah, so that one I really learned timeline wise. I figured that out in November.
Mhm.
And so in January of this year, I zoomed in on SEO. So that's
Mhm.
all we're going to be doing. And I did that very much because of everything I was doing that was the most scalable. So we're
Mhm.
going to focus in on that. That's a big one that's kind of shaped this year for me. And it's also
Mhm.
why I haven't been doing like content and stuff because I'm laser focused on services. But another one, this is both a win and a lesson. I mentioned earlier, either the business grows or I do, right?
Mhm.
In May, my business doubled, more than doubled. This is more than doubled in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Huge win. Also, we were not at all ready for that. Growth and success, if not handled well, can and will kill a business. If you grow
Yeah.
too quickly, especially if you grow quick enough that you can saturate your market and then give a lot of people a bad impression of you, that can.
Mm. Yeah.
And so over the last month, 6 weeks, it's 6 weeks at this point, I haven't been marketing at all. I've been entirely
Mm.
focusing on trying to fix my internal systems. I've been entirely focusing on trying to correct fulfillment mistakes that me and my team were making. And that being said, as a business owner, if your team makes a mistake, you made the mistake. It's your fault.
Yes.
So fixing the mistake that I've been making, fixing staffing issues, and frankly, this month, June at time of recording, we will probably be in the negative this month to kind of fix some of the hiccups that we found last month.
Mhm.
We like negative in the like profit side. Our revenue's higher, but we're
Mhm.
probably gonna end up in the negative this month, and then it should smooth out next month. And so that's a very strong example of the either the business grows or you do. Uh,
Yeah.
Obviously, the ideal is that the business grows every single month. However, this would be food for thought for anybody listening. If you want the business to double every single month, it probably can't. And in
Yeah.
the early days, it probably can because doubling from 1 to 2 isn't that big of a deal.
Mhm.
And then doubling from 2 to 4 isn't even that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But it probably can't keep doubling very many times because you probably don't have the systems necessary to take care of your clients or your customers, depending if you're doing products or services. But that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the smartest thing you can do in your business is slow down. And
Mm.
I think that's a lesson that I'm learning right now, like in real time, is just the recognition of how this last 6 weeks has actually been really rough. Like the increase
Yeah.
in clients has been stressful. The
Yeah.
problems that were unveiled in my company has been stressful and shocking and not at all what I expected. And that being said, right now, and we luckily timed this interview perfect timing because I couldn't have told you this a week ago.
Okay.
But right now, I am way more confident in where my business is at moving forward than I probably ever have been. And I
Mhm.
suspect that the problems that I've been forced to fix in the last 6 weeks are, I think the business today can
Mhm.
get to 7 figures. And I think that the business that I had a month ago could not. And I probably knew that and was just, we're going to fix the problems when we get to them. Well, we got to them. And,
Yeah.
and I think that the systems are in place in such a way that we can, within the next week, they'll be in place in such a way that we can probably scale to 7 figures without having to change anything else internally.
Mhm.
And I'll let you know if I'm right or wrong on that. But the big lesson there is sometimes your business can't grow, and that's actually a good thing. But if the
Mhm.
business isn't growing, it better be because you as the owner are.
Yeah. That's a great point. Let's see here. So, of course, the next question was recent win, and then you told me your recent win already. You are
Can't
ahead
do
of
that.
me, Devin. Okay. So, tell me about a goal that you have this year.
This year, for the end of the year, my revenue target for the business is to hit 30,000 a month in revenue by the end of the year. So
Mhm.
that's one just financial goal that we have. A goal that I care more about is client count. So getting here won't get me to 30,000 a month. This has to happen first, but it's more important. I want to have 20 active clients who are on monthly retainers. And the reason for that goal is because of the world of venture capital. So this is a good lesson that it took me way too long to learn. I wish somebody would have told me this so much sooner, because it makes so much sense. If you have a large agency or service-based business
Mm-hmm.
that you are trying to sell, and you have a single client that is responsible for more than 5% of your revenue, you can't sell your company.
Okay.
So effectively, it's a metric of risk. So how much risk does the company have? If you have a single client responsible for more than 5% of your revenue, depending on the company, that could mean that you have a single client that's responsible for 25% of your profits. Because
Okay.
revenue and profit are so dramatically different. And so that's a very risky company. So
Yes.
I learned this because I was speaking with Nathan Hirsch, and he shared this metric with me. Nathan Hirsch has sold a company to the Hoth, the large company that buys companies.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me how that was a metric that the Hoth cared about. And then I talked to AJ Rivera, who sold a couple of companies, and he just gave me the advice of try to make sure that none of your clients are worth more than 5%. And I was like, where'd that
Yeah.
come from? The metric on the health of a company. I'm like, but where do you learn? I learned about it when I was selling my company. It was like, okay, this is a thing that venture capital cares about. And
Yeah.
when I think about it, it makes sense. Because even on a lower level, like if I have 10 clients and each client is paying me $1,000 a month,
Yep.
okay? And for fulfillment, I'm spending $3,000 or $4,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I have $7,000 a month profit, right? But I have to factor in all the hard costs of my business, like my space, internet, things like that, right? So okay, probably $5,000 a month profit minimum. Like we're probably pretty healthy here. And then one client quits, one client cancels, and suddenly you drop from 5,000 to 4,000. You're like, whoa, I just lost 20% of my profit. Like that
Yep.
can hurt. And
Yeah.
so just knowing that it's the venture capital goal, I want 20 active clients because that's the minimum number you need so that
Mhm.
they're all worth 5% or less. That they're all paying the same price, then they're all worth 5%. So that's a really big short-term goal that I have of just wanting to get to 20 clients.
And then managing all of the balancing in between of like growing too fast or not fast enough, and
Mm-hmm.
just trying to, manage without falling off the ladder.
Right. And
I,
there's a fun metric. It's been shown that most people can only keep track of somewhere between 6 to 9 things at a time. So most organizations, the military is a great example, like aim low and they say 6. Let's stay on the safe side. People can only keep track of 6 things at a time. So a smart organization will put a team lead in charge of no more than 6 team members. But if they're in charge of 6 team members, that's their entire job, is being the team lead.
Mhm.
If you have a client success personnel, if they are really hands-on, if they're supposed to follow up with the clients, they're supposed to pay attention and reach out on a weekly basis, they should
Mhm.
not be given more than 6. They'll slip through the cracks no matter what systems you have. If
Yeah.
they're just meant to respond to open invoices or open emails and things like that, then they can handle a lot more. But it depends
Mhm.
on the name. So recognizing that, you can start saying, okay, if I want a large company, how large of a team do I need based on how many touch points do I want to be able to give my clients? And so let's say 6 clients per client manager, because my services are high touch. So six
Yes.
clients per client manager. Okay. And I need one team lead per 6 client managers. So for 36 clients, I need 7 employees.
Mhm.
You can do the math and you can figure out how well does this scale and how big can it get before it becomes a like structural nightmare. That's kind of part of the problems that we ran into. So I have 8 clients. It's hard to keep track of 8 clients, no matter the systems you have in place, if one person is responsible for keeping track of them. Um,
Yep.
there's a lot of ways you can kind of gamify it. You can compartmentalize. If you give somebody one task, and that one task is for SEO, that your one job is securing backlinks. That's what you do. It's a hard job, by the way. Backlinks are difficult.
Mhm.
So your one job is backlinks. And on your workflow, you get projects one at a time, and the project tells you the niche and the link that you want to link back to.
Mm-hmm.
And you are going to work with this until you get the backlinks that we're looking for. 1, 2, 5, however many backlinks we want to
Mm-hmm.
see. Then you can move on to the next one. Now, that person doesn't have to know that they're working with 40 clients
Yeah.
because their job is one task. So there's ways you can gamify it, and those are the solutions that you find to scale. When we're not doing that, that's why I had to figure out staffing issues. Doing everything myself wasn't very scalable.
Yeah, that's a really good point as well. Like, it's not necessarily just the sales and the marketing and the acquiring clients and revenue and all of that. It's also all of the fulfillment and making sure that you have the staff available because there's only one of you.
Right. One of the things that I've leaned into, this is another lessons learned recently that I think is really valuable, and it's part of why I'm so confident about where the business is going. So you introduced me as the chief marketing officer. I'm
Yes.
I am the co-founder of the company, and I'm the chief marketing officer.
Yep.
My other co-founder is effectively a silent partner.
Okay.
And so when we launched, he helped financially. And
Hmm.
in theory, if the business ever has financial constraints, he helps financially, which he had to at the beginning of the year when we changed directions. And that's kind of the nature of our relationship, at least on the short term. One day
Hmm.
he might take on a role of like chief financial officer. So how does a company with a small team justify someone having the title of the chief marketing officer? Well, you can say chief marketing officer, or you could say marketing director. And it's true if that's all you do. If all you focus on is the marketing, maybe the sales, then you're the marketing director. You're the CMO if that's the structure of the organization. And for a while, that was not true. That was the title that I gave myself, but I was also doing most of the fulfillment. And in my mind, it still made sense for the title because the fulfillment is marketing services.
Right.
So I'm still doing marketing just for my clients. And I recognized that that actually means I couldn't actually really have more than 5 clients because my business is one of my clients. Right?
Yes.
Um,
That
and then
is
suddenly,
really true of smaller businesses. Yes.
and then suddenly I had 8 clients, and so we had a team of freelancers that we used for fulfillment, and I would manage them. And then okay, so I'm managing like 6 people over here, and I am managing 5 clients, and I'm trying and well, so this so we brought on an individual who will probably be something to the effect of a operating officer. That's not his
Hmm.
title yet. He's got to earn that, but that's probably going to be the role he moves towards. And so he's going to be handling a lot of fulfillment, and he's going to be interacting with the freelancers that we outsource to. And I will not be doing fulfillment anymore. I will actually be the chief marketing officer. All I'm doing is the marketing and sales for my company. And so that move, and it's so funny too. I think this might be true. I don't know yet. I think it might be true that the solution to 99% of problems in a business is just get the right person on your team.
Mm.
I think
Yes.
that solves so many problems.
It
Get the right
does.
person on
Yeah.
the bus.
Yeah.
And I think what is the right person changes at different stages too. When your business isn't even pulling in $1 million a year yet, which by the way is a very small business as far as you're not going to be able to hire amazing talent because truly amazing talent, the person who would want to be a COO of a company would also demand $5 million a year salary and
Yes.
they'd be worth it.
Hmm.
But you can bring on somebody who is amazing for now, and then maybe they grow with you, and maybe they don't, and so the job changes. But you can level up your team as you level up. And so often, the easiest solution is simply, or yeah, maybe the only solution is just get the right person on the bus.
Yep.
There's somebody out there who does this way better than you, and they are excited to work with you. Just find them.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. All of that. Getting the right people. That is a wonderful point. So, my next question, you told me you're not promoting anything right now, but it sounds like you have a wonderful business that does SEO that you're focusing on. So, do you want to say anything about that in case anyone listening needs SEO services?
Sure. So I don't go on podcasts to promote. I go on podcasts hopefully to just give value. I have
Which we very much appreciate. Thank you so much.
a very long-term philosophy on these types of things. It's the same
Yeah.
way that I approach networking. I think it's more beneficial for everybody on a long enough time horizon if your goal is to simply add value.
Yeah.
So I try to make that my value, or I try to make that my goal. That being said, I do have a pretty incredible SEO company. If I do say
Okay.
so myself, we are quite fantastic. If you are a local small business owner, probably the best way that you can win on Google right now is the Google Local Map Pack. So if you do a Google search for something like, I don't know, law firm near me, what you're going
Mhm.
to see is the very first thing that shows up is an ad. It says sponsored on it. It's an ad. You're going to get somewhere between, sometimes 0, but probably somewhere between 1 to 5 sponsored links. And what the data is showing us in 2024 is people don't click on ads nearly as much as they used to. The vast majority of people are going to scroll past that. So no matter how many ads are there, they collectively get between 3 to 10% of the traffic. So 3 to 10%
Mhm.
of people click on the ads. The thing that shows up right underneath that is what's known as the Google Local Map Pack. That's a section that shows like Google's top 3 recommendations in the area next to a map showing where you can find them in the city. And
Mhm.
this section is getting about, depending on the search, somewhere between 45 to 52% of the traffic on Google.
Mhm.
And fun fact too, the top 3 spots all get equal traffic here, which is different than traditional SEO. Traditional SEO, the top result gets 3 times more result clicks than the second result, which gets 3 times more clicks than the third result. That's not
Mhm.
true on the map pack. On the map pack, they all get equal results. And I think that's because you see them all simultaneously. You don't have to scroll to
Mm.
see the next one. I think that's my theory. Um,
Yeah.
but this is where the majority of people are going right now for anything
Yeah.
that's local. So if you're a local business owner, the best way to win is to rank in the top 3 on your local map pack. And that's really cool because when we're talking about SEO, traditional SEO is a lot harder.
Mhm.
And because of that, as a service, it's a lot more expensive. But it still takes just as long as ranking in the map pack does. And it actually right now is getting less results because ranking number 1 in Google organically is going to give you maybe 15% of the clicks, but
Mhm.
so is ranking in the map pack. And
Yeah.
so it's an easier win. So that would be my my recommendation. Any local business owner is, while we can do on-site SEO and off-site SEO, and we can get you ranked in Google, probably the smartest, fastest move for you is to actually get your Google business profile, Google My Business optimized,
Mhm.
and get that to rank. That'll probably be a bigger, faster win, and it is definitely cheaper. That would be the service that I would recommend to anyone who's listening that has a local presence, is
Okay.
get ranked on the map pack.
See, and that answer also gave tons of value because now it's like they know something that they could do if they're going to DIY, but they
Yeah,
can also talk to you. So
yeah.
I think that's great. And then I just am a giant fan of your book. I know that you're not promoting your coaching right now, so you can get this book on Amazon or contact Devin. I'll have his contact details. It basically breaks down starting your business for beginners into math. Like there's a lot of mindset. And the thing that really struck me about this is that yes, there is a mindset in starting your business, but then there's also math. And math is as comforting as meditation, I think, because it's like you can solve problems literally by solving problems.
Probably my first
Yeah.
mentor in entrepreneurship. His name is Jimmy Sliegel. Jimmy
Mhm.
Sliegel, I think I'd have to check. I don't know if it's, but I think he has the largest Amazon store. Um,
Mhm.
so um, Jimmy Sliegel used to tell me that this would be his answer to the question. He'd be like, "Well, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is that it is a math problem. The good
Mhm.
news is that it's just a math problem. And success in business is just a math problem. And then
Yep.
doing the inputs, figuring out what X is, and then doing it." Um,
Yes.
by the way, I just checked that book. You can get it on Amazon, and then you'll pay like $20 or whatever it is on Amazon. I still have it linked in my bio on Facebook for the free book, where
Okay.
if if you go through my funnel, you can get the book for free. pay shipping and handling, and then I will personally sign it. So that link is still up.
Okay, I can include that link in the show notes and description as well. Are there any other lessons, thoughts?
Oh.
No, it's okay. We've covered a lot today. We've covered a lot of lessons about your journey, about what you're doing now. And it's been a great conversation, Devin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So this has been Business Breakthroughs with Diane Fulmer and guest Devin Tracy. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, save, share, and subscribe. See you next time.
Bye.